guys, welcome to another podcast by Rainbow Files, all the files from the avid geeks. And today, we will be covering convention venues, isn't that right, Chad?
Oh yeah, it's more about venues.
Oh, by the way, I am Alan and this is Chad. We're gonna talk about conventions because conventions lately in 2016 and upcoming...
No, it's actually last year. And then this 2017.
Yeah, okay, so last year and this coming 2017, there's one every week. Seriously.
Yeah. Well, I think even in 2014, like every week in a month, there's like two events. It's either in Manila or maybe on the edge of Manila.
Yeah, twice a month was
the average.
norm.
Yeah, it's a norm.
But now it's like
actually once a month is a norm. But now it's like around two in an average.
Two average, and at worst it's 4 or 6, especially on convention season itself.
Yeah. So when are the convention season?
And generally it's during the summer, and somewhere around the October.
Yeah. So basically around like July to October.
Yeah, that's the major convention season. I think a lot of people base it off Philippines is Cosplay Mania.
Cosplay Mania, Asia Pop Comic Con, ESGS.
Yeah, all those things. Like, you like it? We probably have a convention for it.
Yeah.
All right. So getting back to the topic, like, so eventually venues become an issue.
Yeah, basically, there are a lot of organizers who are doing their events on different kinds of venues.
So what we're going to talk about now is all these other venues and and what we think about them, and maybe go through we're going to go through the more popular ones first.
But first, we're going to focus more on the most popular venues. So yeah, first we're going to mention SMX Convention Center in the Mall of Asia.
Yeah, the convention area. Like, if you mention MOA to somebody who's gone to cons before,
they know it's there's one place to go for events.
Yeah, there's actually other places called SMX. Like,
there are actually three SMX.
Yeah, but whenever you mention it to a con goer, it's definitely the Mall of Asia SMX.
Yeah, it's more like SMX main, and then the others are just called annexes. Regardless, they're just from different areas in the city.
All right, so SMX, what do we like about it?
Well, it's big. Like, they have like 2 to 3 floors full with convention halls. Mm-hmm. And if you're a really big organizer, you could actually rent the entire compound. Just like what Asia Pop Comic Con did. Like, they occupied 2 floors. Well, technically for the second floor or the third floor, only just like 2 halls. Just for the stage and maybe for their VIPs.
I think that's the first convention I've ever heard. Like, Geek Convention that actually rented out the entire place.
Yeah. So for the ground floor, they occupy the entire hall area.
All right. Going back to what we like about the place. So one, it's huge. So crowding is not always an issue.
Yeah, and also second, the crowd control is really good. Since it's isolated in a separate compound, there's no trouble in mixing in with the mall goers from the actual con goers.
Oh, which is an issue with a certain mall.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it's isolated in the sense that if you're there, you're only gonna be there with the convention goers. The security will handle you well, more or less. The air conditioning is great,
and you can park your cars. There are several parking areas from the mall arena. Mm-hmm. Or if you're really that smart, there's another way in, on the other side, in the other hotel.
You gotta go park in Conrad Hotel because the cost is about the same anyway.
And it's more secure.
And I just take the arena parking there because it's easier for me. And there's a yellow cab right there.
At least, you have more ample amount of space for your parking.
Yeah, that's true. Was never an issue like when we were younger, but now that we're driving cars and everything, parking is a real issue. It's a real issue.
So, aside from pros, there are always the cons. So, what are the bad sides for SMX?
The security.
Actually, you know,
We just named it as a pro, and now we're saying so.
well, you know, all the security is more of a mixed bag. It depends on how the organizers handle their security.
Like they hate people crowding the walkways, which is great. But then SMX security, the security themselves, like the admin, the security, they will not allow.
Oh yeah, there are some certain items that you're not allowed to bring on the SMX compound. Like for example, the weapons, especially for cosplayers, you can bring really accurate weapons, even prop guns. You're gonna need to, at least if it's convincing enough to be like, you know, foam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or you can for an exception for, you know, airsoft guns. You're not allowed to bring airsoft guns anymore.
Like for example, because I came from cosplaying at some point. It's like a way of passage for con goers. You do cosplay at some point, and I ended up after retiring, I helped my girlfriend with all the cosplay things that she continued to do at that time, and I have to bring tools.
Oh yeah, so you're not allowed to bring sharp objects.
Yeah, I can't bring a cutter. I can't bring a pair of scissors. I can't bring pliers. Like, how do you think I made this?
There's a certain problems like, you know, misunderstanding from the security since it's their protocols. You can't, especially how, you know, sleazy people bring stuff to, you know, rub things.
Alright, another con I guess I have with SMX is how the isolation is also a problem, because if you want to go out and buy something, you have to go to the mall.
You have to cross the street. You have to go inside another building, so another security check.
Now this isn't us being lazy. It's more of like the security checks are such a hassle,
especially on weekends.
Not because we bring suspicious things, because I don't. Not because I bring anything suspicious with me. Just putting that out there. It's because everybody tends to queue up.
What suspicious things?
Of everything I said, you just noticed that. Alright, okay, I occasionally get questions.
Understandable.
Anyway.
Tools.
Yes. Anyway, because, you know, you got people there with costumes and everything, and they're carrying, like, I don't know how many bags.
So, understandable, like, yeah. People, like, congoers bring a ton of bags, especially when they shop inside.
Yeah.
So it's a big hassle, you know, jumping to the other building and then get a series of security checks.
And if they're walking around in huge costumes, like shoulder pads, like capes, giant wigs.
Yeah. So, you know, the hassle of jumping from one place to another.
Yeah, that's
unlike in other venues that you're inside a mall.
Yeah. Alright, so I guess, and the last thing that I have such a hassle with SMX, it's getting home. When you're part of the group that finishes the convention because you're an exhibitor or something, and it closes at 8, where nothing else runs to get home.
Yeah. Although there are shuttles from certain areas in MOA, but once you pass, like, you know, closing time, it's empty.
All you got is a taxi or an Uber, and that's kind of a hassle too.
Yeah.
So it's good if you got a car, but
or you can brave the bus line.
Brave.
See that word? I hear that word, brave.
Brave, patience, strength, resolve. All right. So moving on. That's it for SMX, I guess, for now. Next week.
Although, yeah, we have to mention that what's the best event for SMX? You know, if you're an organizer, what kind of event would you prefer to put it on SMX?
You can kind of put almost anything on SMX. It's basically it's a giant empty room. I would hold feature shows, like if there's a cosplay competition, if there's a things with a stage, involve a stage. Yeah.
Probably probably big events.
Yeah, large scale events, definitely.
If you think big in your event, you need a big venue.
Right, like immediately, what comes to my mind is ESGS, Cosplay Mania,
Asia Pop Comic Con,
International Book Fair.
Yeah,
those kinds of things. All right, so that's kind of what we see SMX as. So
moving on, we got second popular venue. It's the SM Mega Mall's Mega Trade Hall.
The Mega Trade Halls.
Yes, the three halls, including the conference room.
Yeah, the fifth floor. That is like memories of high school.
You know, the place where you get bargains, big sales from your sneakers.
Anyway, so yeah, Mega Trade Hall. First of the curious case of how Mega Mall is like in the very heart of where the traffic area is.
Yeah, it's between. If you're a guy from the south or from the north, it's in between. So accessibility on transport is really easy.
Yeah, this is assuming that most of your congoers are from NCR or they're from Manila in general.
At least it's within reach from major transits like MRT, the bus, and other taxis or Ubers.
Yeah. Okay. So, bringing a vehicle or your getaway car, whatever it is, it's not completely necessary because Mega Mall is also a transport hub.
Yeah.
So it's not so bad. It's pretty manageable, really.
So yeah, if you don't have a car, it's a big advantage for you.
It's great. Just that it's super old.
Yeah.
So alright, so Mega Trade Hall is one of the ideal areas because of while most con goers are from Manila.
Yeah, and also it's inside a mall.
It's inside a mall. That's its own mixed bag. It becomes that meeting point between the Northern Conference of Manila Geeks and the Southern Conference of Manila Geeks.
Yeah, you can make coalition something.
but there is a North and South thing going on like in Manila all the time. Depending on whatever crowd you are.
Yeah,
there's a North and South.
It's something It's more like the borderline of the South and the North.
Yeah. All right. So moving on.
So why is it bad? I think we heard the good stuff about Megatrade. What's the bad part?
Wi-Fi jammers, I guess.
No, well, I can still use my mobile Wi-Fi inside. I'm on my mobile data inside.
Yeah, but when there's a good chance that they'll drop, right? There's a good chance it'll drop because
from the past, well, exception from the Toy-Con event, I haven't encountered any jamming issues right now, or probably they improved the infrastructure inside.
Okay, so because I haven't been back there for a while, but all right.
Yeah, maybe people are really congested inside. That could be a big possibility.
Congestion is actually the very thing that is what Mega Trade Hall gives you. You pay for a ticket to be basically in a mosh pit.
Yeah.
Even if there's no concert, you're in a mosh pit.
Even if it's the entire three halls, it's really jam packed since there's no more additional space for Megatrade to increase.
Because there's all these merchandise booths and everything, and people for some reason like to pass around them, even if they don't plan to buy anything, or they don't even plan to look at the shops. They just pass through there, and
yeah, it's flow traffic.
Anyway, it's so strange. Another con with that place is
considering congestion, even outside the halls, just the corridors, the hallways.
Mm-hmm.
It's really jam packed with cosplayers. It became a major issue with security. That they're now imposing rules that you can't just do a cosplay shoot at the hallways. You have to do it inside the venue area.
Oh yeah, and thanks to the crowding that they often make,
so
they often leave a mess.
And also it doubles the capacity inside the venue.
Yeah, that's true. So, what other things do we find?
Parking issue. Considering Mega Mall is in between the north and south, every weekend is always a jam-packed place for shoppers.
If you happen to be one of those guys that needs to bring a car there for whatever reason, it could be because your costume is that huge, or an exhibitor that has to bring things in there.
Yeah.
You better be awake real early, and you better be ready to sleep real late.
Either you park early or park somewhere else.
Yeah, and yeah, you park somewhere else and you bring your 10,000 plus peso value figurines
you're gonna
on the street.
You're gonna experience waiting for 2 hours just to park your car inside. It happens. It always happens, especially if the event is at the same time with a major sale at Mega Mall.
Okay. What are the things do I not like about Mega Trade Hall?
That's old.
It's old, yeah. It's kind of dingy, but you know it's okay.
It's a place for events that are more on merchandise,
I guess. Okay. Considering how
or at least something you don't need a stage to put inside your event.
all right, all right. Okay, so we're going to that point where we're just kind of reviewing the area now.
Yeah.
So Mega Trade Hall is called the Mega Trade Hall for a reason. It's meant for
Merchandise,
merchandise,
selling.
bazaars, and that's about it. It's meant to have extra booths in it to sell things.
Yeah.
Now, if you're gonna put something like a stage with spotlights and blasting speakers,
You're
good,
eating up more space.
good lord, you're eating more space.
You're eating more space that's supposed to be like, putting a big ass stage. Like eating up an entire Mega Trade Hall just for your single stage.
Yeah, that's and there's no way to divide the sound. There's no way to
There's no way, to do unless you're really far away in opposite side of the
Yeah.
Mega Trade Hall, or if it's filled with other, big booths that are, absorbing the noise.
So yeah, I guess at most, if it's some sort of expo,
Yeah. Although Toy-Con managed to survive like 10 years inside. And
yeah,
it's-
but Toy-Con is initially an expo.
Yeah. Well, it's intentionally, merchandise, a bazaar
Yeah,
for
it's
toys.
initially a huge ass bazaar. So
And yeah, and it's when every collector's dream. Although it changed.
all right, so that's Mega Trade Hall for us. It's supposed to be for trade, not for shows.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. So what? So there's so we went through the southern, the midsection, and not
We're
northern.
now going to the Kingdom of the North.
And that's gonna be the SM North Sky Dome. I've
Yeah.
actually never gone to a convention in this because it's up north.
Well, so far, most of the customers here, the Skydome customers are game publishers.
Okay.
Especially when they host their tournaments, since it's a pretty good place to set up a huge ass stage with people to sit on and then to spectate.
So it's if there's a spectator sport going on, it's great for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it great for anything else?
Well, you can do concerts. If it's meant to be a concert
Stage
area.
performances.
Stage performances.
Stage performances.
You can put a couple of booths, but you can't overdo it, like doubling the amount, like more than a dozen. It won't have enough space for people to roam around.
So it's really a bleachers and stage kind of place.
Yeah, since the far end of the venue is filled with seats, and you can remove it.
Okay.
So the only open space available are in between and in the middle.
So it's not really. You wouldn't really call it a convention hall. It's more of an auditorium.
Yeah.
of
Although
some
there are
sort.
some events that are doing it, but it's a hit or miss, especially if you're gonna do it in an otaku event.
All right, you got. Since this is kind of an interesting case because SMX is basically a giant empty room, Mega Trade Halls are basically giant empty rooms. Now you're talking about an auditorium with bleachers.
Yeah.
So you gotta give me like an example of what did it well and what did it terribly.
What went well is the game publish Play Park, Level Up, and even Game Club for their tournaments. It's a good place to put a huge ass stage, make awesome performances from whatever they want. And I think the one thing that really some events that managed to put up an event there as a whole entire convention event. Well, I think a certain anime magazine. No, it's not Ozine. I forgot the name. And it went well since there's not enough space for people to roam around. Considering they put up a lot of merchandise booths, other kind of booths inside that people can't roam around properly.
Alright, so they basically used something against its purpose.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Animax and other big companies would probably find their way around that, but this sounds like a smaller organizer that tried to maybe make the most out of the space. Because you're not as big, so you can't afford to just rely on these few attractions.
Yeah, or maybe they're trying to do something different, but the execution wasn't really that good.
Okay, all right. So that's Skydome. So Skydome is basically a giant auditorium, boys.
Yeah. So the pros there is that it's good for spectation. You know, you just watch something. So yeah, the good side here is that it's good for spectators. You watch something like performance or whatever tournaments. The bad side is you can use it as a venue for your convention, especially if you're gonna put a lot of booths.
You can't do expo conventions on it.
Yes, you
can.
can.
Do not do that. Okay.
Doesn't have enough space for it.
Right. So that's kind of the big three. Like
Yeah.
in terms of
the Skydome is more of something could be in between the major or maybe a minor venue.
depends on how they're gonna use it.
Yeah, but this one, the fourth one, could be the third major. And that's
okay.
World Trade Center in Pasay City.
Yeah, actually, I've been to conventions that are not geek type there. I've been there for food. Well, depends on how you see it. I've been there for poultry, whatever, like other
It's
business.
a multi-purpose event area.
Yeah, it's a multi-purpose event area, and it does the job well.
Yeah, although it's old.
It's old, situated in a very easy to read map.
Yeah.
Like where is it? It's along Buendia. You'll bump into it. Don't worry.
So what are notable events happen here in World Trade Center?
That was the first APCC happened here.
Yeah, first APCC, also Garina's Rampage.
Garina's Rampage.
And also, if you've heard from the early years in Level Up Live.
Yeah. There's some. No, I think the most notable one would be APCC, but this is of course it's not only geek events. Of course, they have all sorts of events, car shows. They have
it's a multi-purpose event venue.
I think the World Food
Food Expo.
Yeah, World Food Expo happens here all the time. So it's easy to reach too. It has access to parking on.
If you have a car,
if you're gonna take a car, which I would recommend a car to get here because public transportation to this place is kind of
scarce. Yeah, I think only a handful of jeep and buses can reach it.
Only a few jeeps and buses, and that's very scarce. Taxis or Uber or Grab is your choice.
Yeah. So, what are the bad side for World Trade Center?
What's bad about this place is, I guess the extension tent.
I think the one thing people really have in trouble is getting food.
Yes, because it's not at a mall.
The only thing you can access is Jollibee, which is you have to cross major road.
You have to cross a major road, risk your life to get a piece of chicken.
Yeah, and the other, if you don't like eating fast food, you have to walk far or get a car, look around the area for some restaurant or something.
Again, I recommend having a car.
And the worst part, if the event doesn't have any food inside.
Yeah, well, that's pretty rare, but it happens.
It happens in some events, and it's it's really hard.
But yeah, because especially if you're covering the event or you're waiting for something to happen, you can't just leave.
Yeah,
you can't just leave. Now, another issue I have with the venues, when you go to the extension tent, it's not always air conditioned.
Yeah, especially if it's during summer.
It's during summer, you don't want to go into that tent.
And sometimes even if there are air conditions active, when there are really a lot of people inside and it's a summer, it's a bad idea.
It's a sauna. It's a giant.
It's like you're going to a sauna bath.
Yeah. Oh wait, there's one thing that I didn't mention about Mega Trade Hall.
How was it?
And Skydome. Well, no, I can't really speak for Skydome, but I do enjoy with World Trade, and that would be the bathrooms.
Oh yeah,
because Mega Trade does not have any bathrooms.
You have to go a level lower, fourth floor, third floor, because
and
it's always jam packed with people lining up. And if you're a cosplayer, I think you're not allowed to use the bathroom
as a changing room.
Yeah, there's a designated area for you to use.
Yeah, and so it's super hassle. But
for World Trade, I think every corner has a restroom.
And they're huge.
Yeah.
And they're comfortable, and they're well maintained. That's a super.
Yeah, even if it's old, it's still well maintained. That still, good place to take a break. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right.
Deposit your stuff.
I guess. Anyway, one other issue. Going back to the issues with World Trade, I guess the sheer size would be a thing, because if you have to get to point A to from point A to point B, and they turn out to be on the opposite sides of the shorter part, the shorter side of Mega Trade Hall, of World Trade, that's actually quite a distance.
Yeah.
That we're talking about the short side.
Oh, imagine if you're going with
The long side.
especially going in the upper floor and then the other far side of the ground floor.
Yeah, that's kind of the distance, and you're out in the sun.
No, yeah. When you're walking, getting food,
Yeah, you're out.
or if you just want to take a break, going outdoor.
But in general, I guess World Trade does score pretty high on our books, I guess.
Yeah. Only problem if you have a car, it's good. But if you're gonna commute alone, better bring some friends.
Bring friends so that they can carry you when you're tired of walking.
Carpooling is the best option,
Carpool is I would say so.
especially if you're a cosplayer. You need to carpool. You need to carry a lot of your armored costumes. You
This
need a car.
scythe is gonna your blade scythe or whatever it is gonna have to be stored.
Yeah. Right, moving on from World Trade Center, we got. Well, there's some new venues that are promising, especially this one, Bayanihan Center in Pasig.
Oh yeah, that's a nice place. That's in fact one of the most recent events I went there. Isn't exactly a convention.
Actually, a wrestling event.
Yeah, it was a wrestling event. It was a PWR.
Yeah, from Philippine Wrestling Revolution.
Yeah.
The promising new local wrestling event.
Indie wrestling.
Yeah, it's indie.
Is
So you better support local wrestling.
or heckle them like
Yeah.
very hard. I love it.
Anyway, what are other notable events in Bayanihan Center aside from PWR? I think we have Comic Con.
Comic Con, with a K.
Yeah, the K.
Comic Con with a
And
K.
also we got NextCon. It's more of a fandom based.
It's a Western
convention.
yeah,
Western fandom community convention.
Yeah, because like 90% of geek conventions, if not gaming, is anime related.
Yeah, and at least here, what makes it different from Asia Pop is that NextCon focuses more on the fan community.
Oh, okay. Like, I heard there was not going to be a next con this year.
Yeah,
so it's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, I think maybe they need to take a break and you need to prepare something for a bigger surprise for us.
Well, hopefully that's what happens.
We'll see.
But anyway, Bayanihan Center. Location is quite convenient, I guess.
Yeah.
It's in Pasig.
Although it could be hard if you're not used with the
area.
in the area, and you don't know which transport you need to take to ride.
But it's accessible through several modes of transportation.
Yeah,
So
just take a bus going to Pioneer
yeah, then
and take a trike.
Yeah,
Just tell them
it's not so
Bayanihan.
bad. It's not so bad.
Or you can walk.
If you can bear with it.
Yeah, you can bear the sun, the broad daylight.
Or you just go there really early in the morning.
Also, you can bring a car.
You can bring a car.
It's also one of the car-friendly areas. You can park in
right next to it.
right next to it, or maybe across the street. There's a compound there full of restaurants.
Yeah. That I remember Bayanihan Center having like 2 major halls.
Yeah, it's also one of the most cleanest venues because it's also carpeted. Also
yeah.
SMX carpeted, but how neat Bayanihan was maintained.
I would say like if let's compare grass, right? If SMX has Carabao grass, I would say that Bayanihan has Bermuda grass. Feels nice to the feet.
Also, they have an auditorium area if you want. I think next one use it for the Geek Fight.
Yeah,
Auditorium.
they did. So they have like an auditorium and an open hall.
And also some meeting rooms if you want to do, panel discussions, film showing.
Or a press con.
Yeah, press con. But the bad side with Bayanihan Center is that it's not that big compared with the Mega Trade or maybe with SMX and World Trade. It's more like a medium-sized venue.
Yeah, it's like what 500 square meters,
I
maybe.
think 1,000, or maybe equivalent like Mega Trade Hall 2.
Okay,
Just like
just to give them a proper sense of scale, it's a Mega Trade Hall 2.
Yeah, if you're used with going inside Mega Trade Hall 2, it's like the biggest hall in Mega Trade, and it's the most commonly used area for side events or conventions.
Or we could let's give them units that they understand. In a PC rental place, it's about 100 stations.
So actually, half of the 100 stations.
About 50 stations.
No, I mean half of. It only eats up half the floor area.
Okay,
Just
so about
100 PCs.
So 200. If you're gonna make a PC setup, about 200 spaces
Yeah.
of that is what the floor space is. All right,
But it's pretty big if you're starting up with a minor event. But if you're planning a major event, like a big event, I think you need to look for a different area.
If your attendance is kind of niche, like I guess you could 300 or 300 to 500 people.
Yeah, or maybe less than 1,000.
Yeah, less than 1,000. Bayanihan Center is pretty good.
Yeah.
But other than that, you're gonna have some crowding issues. But actually, Bayanihan Center is a great place. Comic Con is held there regularly,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have too many visitors, and it's pretty comfortable.
Yeah, but if it's filled with people, well, the air condition is pretty strong. At least, and the best part, you can still chill at the hallway, sit down, relax, take a break.
It's not cool, but you're gonna get kind of chilled.
The security isn't that really strict, So that's the plus part.
Yeah,
and if you're worried with food, accessibility to food, just cross the street and you can see a compound filled with restaurants, from Japanese, grill, burgers, whatever.
Oh, it's very
Milk teas.
comfortable. Yeah, it's very comfortable.
Or if you if you have a car, you can go straight to Capitol Commons.
So yeah, all right. So I'm coming up with this on the fly, but I would give this 3.5 convention stamps out of 5.
So how are you gonna rate SMX?
SMX, like I would give that at least 4 or 4.5.
How about for Mega Trade?
Mega Trade is like 3.
So how about with like World Trade?
World Trade is probably a 4. Yeah.
Oh.
Convention stamps.
Yeah.
Don't forget convention stamps.
All right. So yeah. So these are some of the major venues for major conventions, for major events. So how about the minor ones?
Minor ones. Okay, let's first define minor, because we keep doing out the big name conventions.
Yeah.
Until now.
So maybe you could consider like events that you doesn't need a big space to cater their event, or maybe only putting a handful of booths,
All right,
or maybe
so-
a startup event.
All right, so maybe a storefront event.
Yeah, or maybe some simple bazaar.
Simple bazaar. Not necessarily multiple days.
Yeah, maybe a day or two. Well, average is 2 days.
Does it? All right. So, are we talking like Glorieta Activity Center level?
Yeah, probably mall areas.
Mall
with
areas.
activity centers and those open space areas that you could put small
All right.
stage.
So Glorieta has like 2 activity centers right back to back to each other. They always have
Mega
something
Mall
going
has, I think, 2 now.
Uh-huh.
One in the Fashion Hall, and then the other is at Mega A, beside the food court.
All right. Well, as if you are an organizer and you're looking for something like this, like wait, I remember something that's called the SM City, the SM North Annex.
Oh, yeah, the Cyber Zone area.
Cyber Zone area. They have this space that just gets dedicated to
Gaming, I think more on gaming.
well, yeah.
So yeah, if you're familiar like Pinoy Gaming Festival, Summer Assembly, or maybe other play park events, that's the usual spot for their events.
Yeah, this is great for people that just want to get a lot of eyes on their
And it's
event.
usually it's those events that are free.
Yeah, these are for
You don't need to pay like probably you could just pay like prepaid card, the 50 pesos. But there's no
actual
door
ticket.
fee. There's no
actual
door
ticket,
fee.
Yeah, but these are, I guess you're talking about promotional events.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would go with the open mall spaces for these.
True. So yeah, mostly it's a good side is that it's inside the mall. It's enough for you to start up your event or something.
Yeah, get a bit of attention. A lot of onlookers,
especially if it's a free event. It's a great spot. So what are the bad side?
First of all, there's probably nowhere to sit.
Yeah, the major issue is that it's small. It's a small space. You only manage to cramp yourself with, especially if it's overcrowded with,
which is super easy. It happens super easy. Like the
it always happens in every free event.
Because like, hey, it's gonna cost me nothing to mess around here. I might as well walk in, even though I'm not gonna do anything. Yeah, that's kind of what happens. But that's the huge con, I guess.
And also, depending on which mall you're going to use, it only has small amount of space for you to cater your event.
All right. So yeah, I guess you'd see like Pinoy Gaming Festival.
Play park events,
Park.
maybe some of the cosplay.ph, side events like for their torch.
Yeah, like these are the smaller scale events. That's what they're for.
Also counts with other malls as well, as long as they have activity centers.
Yeah.
So whether it's like other SM malls from other cities like SM Manila.
You check out Torch and you're gonna see like SM something name place, SM name of place activity center.
Yeah. As long as a mall with activity center, it counts.
So this is what would work. Anything that would require like a short of a stage.
Simple event.
Stage with a stage show. That's kind of
side events or maybe startup events.
Yeah, that's what I would put it as. Right. So there's a lot of these, and then there's this handful of very interesting events that they're very niche.
Yeah, very niche, but they have an interesting venue that they use.
Yeah,
that are unique to it. It also makes it stand out for their events as well.
Yeah. So, like the very first thing that comes to mind are those that go into parks, gardens, and all that, which would immediately remind me of Fantasy Quest.
Yeah. So Fantasy Quest, one of the most interesting events. Although it's not meant for for ordinary congoers, so it's focused more on cosplayers
and
photographers. If you want to add up for your portfolio, or you want just in a hobby taking photos, of great cosplayers, or maybe you want to shoot videos or whatever.
When was the last Fantasy Quest?
I think it's the same day with ESGS than 2015.
Mm-hmm. What was it?
I forgot which area, but it's also in a park.
Yeah, it was some park up down south.
Yeah,
it was a park down south, and it was kind of classy. Yeah,
it's a classy event, and it's catered to certain audience. So if you're more of a casual congoer, you might feel out of place in this. But if you're really into photography, cosplay, it's the best place for you.
All right.
Enough for the plugging.
Do you own Fantasy Quest?
No.
I didn't know you owned Fantasy Quest, Chad.
They owe me royalties. I promote them.
Anyway, alright. One thing that I noticed Animax do once was they made a school tour.
Yeah, and for their campus tour. I think same goes with Best of Anime as well. They tried doing campus cosplay competitions.
Oh, okay. So they toured around. They kind of made these mini conventions in schools.
Also, some orgs are doing it as well. In like UP, they're doing their own.
UPAME?
No, UP. Aside from UPAME.
Oh, okay. So yeah, schools are another thing. The nice thing about so we kind of special mentioned the garden, but we already know what's good and bad about it.
You know the idea if you're going to put up an event in a garden or maybe on a resort.
Yeah, make sure that you're not getting too many people for one thing.
I also have a friend that hosted her own event in a resort.
Mm-hmm.
I think in Tantasora area. So I think it's a good idea that certain events, it could be a minor event or maybe a team event focusing on cosplay. It's a good idea to put it on a resort, especially the team on some interior designs,
theme.
like the stage, or maybe the cottage area, or maybe
Okay.
the garden.
Like for example, there was a cosplay group that was focused on Alitalia,
I can't remember the name. It's Loving Rainbow.
Loving Rainbow.
Yeah, it's the name of the resort, and I think it's promotion for her work for her job there. So she also made an event inside.
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty interesting idea. I think also she's doing some ongoing events right now. Hopefully, she continues more of these events.
Yeah, that does sound interesting. But what other? Yeah, there was actually two. I know two that tried to host at a theme park. Both went bad.
Oh yeah, although doing it on an amusement center is kind of a mixed bag, of course. Especially, it depends on what kind of event you're all catering. So it's gonna be a case-by-case situation.
So it's actually pretty hard to give you the pros and cons because it's
It
more
depends
of,
on the theme park itself.
no, it's more of all these events, all of these special venues. You use these special venues if you have a special audience in mind or a special theme in mind.
It focuses on certain audiences.
If you're targeting to do something like Ozine or whatever,
It's a bad idea to put it on a theme park. But if you're trying to do something that incorporates the use of certain facilities in the theme park, then it's a good idea.
then it might be a good idea.
Like, for example, you could put it in the same situation with Fantasy Quest and how they incorporate the venue for their event itself.
So they rented a garden or a park or something,
Yeah.
and that's pretty perfect because they're doing a cosplay shoot.
Yeah,
right. And
it's like it's like you're playing basketball in a basketball stadium.
yeah.
That kind of idea.
Oh, speaking of stadiums, ESL One was like the
yeah.
highlight of my visit to the
Last year,
Mobile
right?
Arena. Yeah, last year.
It's the first major event right before Manila Majors from Valve.
Yeah, that's well, no, not necessarily from Valve, but
Oh, from PGL, I think.
yeah, PGL. there
Sorry
you go.
about that. Oh, it's PGL. And then from ESL, they really made a great job in making ESL 1 Manila great.
Was it? No, specific society because I'm pretty sure PGL handled Manila Major.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I mean for ESL 1.
yeah, the team for ESL.
I think
the
ESL
team-
also got involved with it.
did they?
Yeah, I think they're one for the production. So at least kudos for them for making good quality production.
Anyway, so arenas. There's actually there was a local case that didn't go so well, but
Yeah, I think it's more of a trial and error. I think they tried to put it as a, as a usual convention, but utilizing the floor space, you're gonna lack some space for the facilities.
that's too bad.
But if they focus more on the stage itself, it can work
Right.
well.
So now that we're hearing that some things work and some things don't,
Yeah. Also, we have to take note of some other minor facilities like hotels.
depends.
It's a rare situation for some to use hotels, but in the early years, I think some are actually rented halls from hotels.
Evo
Yeah.
Hall.
For international, it's Evo,
Yeah.
and also in other anime conventions in the America and other European countries, they use hotels or probably the entire facilities of the hotels for their events.
Because they have lots of guests taking the
Yeah,
that
there's a
hotel
lot of
itself.
guests. It's the best way to accommodate their guests from other areas.
That's true. All right.
It's gonna be different in the Philippines, especially people are not used to staying in hotels. It's especially expensive.
Depends. Well, we'll just have to see.
Yeah, it's a case by case. Unless you really need something to use a hotel, then yeah, maybe. But
Alright.
it's last option, I guess.
All right. So now we kind of gave them like, what the good places, what
Yeah.
the interesting places.
Although there's one more. If you're gonna go doing concerts, mini music performances,
okay.
like anime music fest something, you can use bars or maybe music halls. I think there are some smaller organizers are doing that. Music fest.
Like these are like they have more of a indie flavor. To
Yeah,
them.
at least it caters to certain audiences. Even if it's a niche, it's really a good idea for
Bars are small enough to they're not too big that you have to fill them up.
There's a community in it.
Yeah, and
It's enough to cater the community.
if you have a dedicated enough community and they're willing to pay it forward for you, I guess, then yeah, it's not a bad idea to do that.
Yeah. So alright, so we discussed all the good,
The
good venues for your events.
and then the interesting venues, yeah. But now we gotta warn some people about what the bad venues are.
Yeah, you know the certain venues that you should be using,
Should not be using
even
at
if
all.
it's your desperate time to pick that area. It's still a big no-no
Okay.
unless you don't know how to actually host an event.
All right. So okay, you fire the first shot.
All right, so yeah, number one is obviously clubhouses within subdivisions.
Private property within
This
somebody's.
is an exclusive area for for homeowners. Unless you're actually using an event for the actual subdivision, for only those certain people. Yeah, it could be.
If it involves the community of the subdivision,
Yeah.
then that could work.
So it means niche within a niche.
yeah, but if you're gonna be taking in like I don't know international guests
Yeah.
or something,
If you're going to do an international tournament, that is the most stupidest idea you would ever do. Put it on an exclusive subdivision. I don't know if you know. how
easy
to-
on the shots there.
You
Easy on
don't
the
know
shots.
if you know how to do an event, but shame on you for using it.
Okay.
Because obviously, first, you're gonna do a tournament, and you're aiming for public audience to watch, to spectate. At least do it on a really public area. People are easy to get into.
Okay.
Not something that you require to get a permit. A long
Oh,
process.
My goodness.
It's gonna be hard for for the people who are going to watch it.
Okay,
So,
so-
the only people who are going to attend are the competitors. After that, they leave.
All right. If like taking care of security logistics within a homeowner subdivision is nuts. It's basically nuts. There's so much red tape and stuff that you have to work
Yeah.
around.
Don't be lazy. Actually, if you want to be lazy on making an event, don't make an event. Period.
Anyway, if you have international guests flying in, their most immediate IDs would be their passports.
Yeah.
And security by SOP here is before they let you in, they ask for one of your official IDs. And that's the only official ID you have. You're asking them to give up their passport.
Yeah.
And we know that it's possible that could be lost in the process.
Yeah, and will be liable for the organizers since they are the one who made put the venue inside an exclusive area.
And this is the extreme case. You have a lot of other smaller cases of people just unable to get in because maybe they got the name wrong, maybe they have they have slightly different details from what the security knows,
Yeah,
and that's gonna have to do a lot of callbacks.
and it could be a big problem, a big hassle for spectators, competitors, and even the media to get inside the venue because there are a lot of screening process to do, and it has to have to do with the organizers.
And then you might have to do this like a 2 or 3 day event.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And you need a car, maybe need to Uber. So what if you're like a group of friends and you don't have a car?
Oh yeah, that's
It's a
true.
hassle.
Like, okay, so those are like all the bad things
Yeah, it's
about
a
that.
bad idea to do it on a really exclusive area unless you're really lazy or you know nothing about events.
All right, moving on, because that's what we have to do.
Yeah. Also, next would be
Oh wait,
areas without proper flooring.
Outdoor areas, the concrete flooring. What kind of event was this?
I can't remember, but it's like a campus convention. Like a
People in costumes.
anime groups.
People in
in
costumes.
the campus, and then they try to rent a outdoor area, like a parking lot.
People in costumes.
Yeah.
In
the
the-
problem is, there are booths that are tented, but it started raining at that period, and the place really got muddy.
I am like, if people could see me right now, I'm getting stressed just
Did it
hearing
happen?
this happen. It happened.
Yeah.
It happened. Oh,
I only wish Jayagoni was here. He could really visualize what really happened. I think he was there at that time.
I don't. Okay, so
But he told me like it's really a bad idea,
Yeah,
especially during a rainy period, a rainy season. So, best advice: avoid doing it during, even during summer.
at least provide a huge tent. or
or
2
maybe find
or 10.
or find an indoor spot.
Yeah, find a place where you can.
I
where-
think Comicat did that on
Yeah.
an outdoor area, but they also have a facility for indoors.
Yeah, like you gotta be able to anticipate these things.
Yeah, so always prepare whenever this kind of things happen. So at least try to look for if you're planning to do an outdoor, do it with a proper flooring.
All right.
At least a well cemented area.
Okay, and moving on. Restaurants. Don't
Yeah.
do it at restaurants.
I think it's
Some,
maybe if it's a small gathering, just dine out, it's okay. But if you're gonna do an event in a restaurant, I think it's not a good idea.
it's either you get the entire restaurant in on it, or you don't. Because if you're gonna divide an area, like for example, half the floor space of a restaurant to your event. Let's say it's like a video game thing. Could be a tournament, could be just a featurette. You got other people that are enjoying their private lives on the other side.
Yeah. So yeah, also involves privacy with other diners.
Yeah.
So it's not recommended. Although it's a last option venue, but it's still not advisable, especially if you're gonna do an event or maybe a mini event that involves really loud noises, or maybe people are really cheering.
Yeah, but just it's supposed to be eating is supposed to be this private, sacred affair for yourself.
Yeah. Although you could say that people are using for parties. Yeah, but it's a smaller scale.
Yeah, it's a party.
Yeah.
It's not an event. It's a party,
Yeah,
guys.
it's a hard place to do events.
All right, so I guess we're gonna wrap this up now. We've presented you with the best venues and what they're ideal for. We also presented to you what their worst ideas. And I guess for those of you who are aspiring to organize their own events, we would like to impart you with a few nuggets of knowledge, wisdom that we've seen, that we've learned watching conventions.
Covering events. I think we've seen how some managed to do it well, some managed to flop. At least some learning experience.
So so here's a few pointers for you guys out there, just to make sure that history does not repeat itself for the awful mistakes that happened in the past.
Although shit happens, but at least make it less really horrible.
No. If something happens, it's still your event, so you gotta manage it.
Yeah,
you can't
just
just throw your arms in the air.
Stay classy,
Yeah.
don't just throw up towel, give up.
Yeah, you can't just throw your arms in the air and give up. Yeah.
And also don't do unnecessary rants in public. It's
Alright.
not a bad idea. It's not a good idea.
Number one, I guess, would be take care of your logistics. Take care of your logistics. Like, this is something that if you're organizing an event, please get a piece of paper, stick it to your mirror, whichever mirror you look at in the morning, and write, take care of your event logistics.
So what is logistics first for
So
e-commerce?
So that's basically getting the work done for making sure that there's gonna be, if you need tables, there's gonna be tables. If there's a requirement for getting entry, you clear those requirements, you submit those requirements, and you make sure that everything is ready by the time the event starts.
Yeah, also prepare all the requirements for your stage, for your venue, stage equipment, seats, tables, registration forms, all the permits, everything, and even your and
Now,
yourself and your staff.
okay, so quick horror story to share, just so that you know what happens when you don't take care of your logistics. I was part of a convoy that carried maybe 3 or 4 vehicles, filled with cosplayers, some of them high profile, from Manila to a mountain called Tagaytay.
What happened?
At the very door of the theme park, which we were supposed to enter, we were refused because there was no permits granted. And apparently the guy didn't know anything about the permits.
So
The guy who led the project. So here I was, woke up at 4, drove there till 10, and like, you expect me to go through the traffic going home? Like, this is a weekend place. No, like, you just ruin your reputation when you make these simple, absent-minded mistakes.
yeah,
right?
so at least prepare all the requirements all the necessary permits, so at least your audience or maybe your guests won't be having any trouble getting inside.
Yes, for every detail of your event, from ticket sales to whoever is taking out the trash, is part of your logistics.
Yes.
All right.
So always prepare a list.
Yeah, always prepare a list.
And always take care of your logistics.
All right. How about you? What do you got to say?
Okay, so the other thing is don't expect too much with the venue, or maybe especially the venue admins. Don't expect too much from, like, for example, you rented a venue, but it doesn't have all the necessary things you need, like for example lighting for your stage. Of course, some venues doesn't have the equipment, or there's a separate package for that. So you better make sure that they always prepare for it. Don't expect that when you rent the place, it's all complete.
All right, I think what you mean to say is manage your expectations with your venue.
Yeah, don't expect that it's all complete, or maybe it has everything you need.
Because some venues would already have all this ready, but others might not.
Yeah.
So, this is kind of like going down into the details with contracts.
Yes.
So you got to make sure that okay, can you prepare tables? Yes. Can you prepare chairs? Yes. No. It as much as it sounds like a foolish question to ask these two right after each other, don't dismiss the possibility that the other one is not there. Is not gonna be there.
It's like you have a couple of months to prepare for your event. At least at that time, you know which kind of equipment you need that the venue lacks.
Okay.
So at least you don't expect like in the last minute that you surprised that they doesn't have enough chairs, doesn't have enough lightings, and then you're going to blame the admins for having insufficient equipment. Please don't.
Don't do that. All right. Right. I think we're starting to run out of time, so I'm just gonna go through this.
So we have two more. This is gonna close just for the closing. So this one is important. Always have a budget.
All right. Some of you might believe that holding an amazing event is part of your dreams, and the reality check for you is that dreams will always cost you money.
Yeah. So if you could buy a car, you can host your own event. That's how much you need to run your own event. Sometimes including the venue, space, rentals, and other stuff.
And okay, maybe you can cut down on the costs if you know who to talk to, or if you have good
even your guests.
Yeah. So don't expect that that things like this is pulled out of a magic box without payment.
Yeah. And also coinciding with the previous tip that we said about don't expect too much from the venue, since you're going to need more equipment, so you need a budget for that.
And of course, if you're gonna be selecting a venue, make sure you study every inch of it and know the ins and outs.
Yeah. So for example, you're catering for a music festival, so what you have to think, what kind of venue do you need? Do you need a convention hall, or maybe you can just focus on bars or maybe music halls?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna hold a music event, for example, and then you pick this area that's notorious for having echo, maybe you made a bad choice.
Yeah. So you have to study well. So for example, you really have second thoughts on choosing this, you can look for a second option.
All right. Also, you have to be able to make sure that what you understand about the venue is what your audience understands about the venue, especially location and how to get there.
Yeah. So be sure you make it. The location of your venue will be transport friendly, and it's not something inside the subdivision.
Again, that. All right. But anyway, I think that's it for our aspiring.
Also, let's do the add note. Like, for example, we mentioned about bars and restaurants.
Yeah.
Like, the bars would be a good recommendation, and then the restaurants are not. Well, it's not because some restaurants don't have a capacity for hosting, music performers or maybe singers or performers.
All right. Most of the time, the reason I would say restaurants would be a bad idea is because they're running a business.
Yeah.
And they have
compared with in a bar that is actually prepared for band performances.
Yeah. So and cost-wise, it normally is gonna be shooting.
Yeah. So in case you get
for
confused with us recommending bars and then not in restaurants, is that some bars are specialized in doing band performances, so it's good for music festivals or something. And restaurants is not, because it's not meant for for usual gatherings of conventions that are not really convention for parties.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna name a place that actually has a stage with tables and food and everything, that's called a bistro.
Yeah, at least you'll get confused.
Anyway, I think that's all the time we have for now.
Yeah, I think we have about an hour long at least.
Yeah, something like that. You just put me through memory lane with all the conventions that I liked and hated. I wish we did it the other way around so I don't feel so bad. But anyway,
so we can guys expect more discussion about conventions.
So not only this, but you'll receive all sorts of things, all sorts of files straight from the geeks. That's us, Raymaru Files. Again, this is Alan, and here's Chad.
Bye.
Bye for now. Hope to see you next time. Do share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you'd like us to talk about anything, we'll put it under consideration. Just tell us first. All right. Good night, guys.